For those of you guys who don't know my background or whatever, half of my family is Arab and Muslim, particularly. Many of them are in this country, have been for 30 years. Businessmen, businesswomen, mothers, children, cousins, active members in society, active members in the community, in their Senate, and in the aspect of Congress as well. I personally know a congressman and a couple senators. I have an extremely active side in terms of the Muslim community, and I'm trying to bring about compassion on that side. The other side of my mom's side is extremely white and Christian and very kind of Republican-esque. So they don't even like the aspect that I'm Arab. Whatever. So that's where my perspective comes from. This is being filmed on the day after. This is the 9th of October. So this is the morning of us finding out that Donald Trump is the president-elect, basically, which means that he's going to be, he is set to become our 45th president. To say that this is a shock is kind of an understatement. However, in hindsight, I can kind of see where the excitement has brought it to this point. Now, my 11-year-old brother yesterday, when things started coming together in terms of he was winning in the polls, and I'm going to say this first, I don't support Hillary. I think she's awful, but I saw kind of my options there. So, like I said, my 11-year-old brother called me yesterday and was like, what are we going to do if he becomes president? Because he's mean to us. He doesn't like Muslims. And for that to be said by a young boy who has only known this country in his life is frightening. My dad called me this morning and said that my 12-year-old sister has been begging him for them to leave the country. I present myself as very American-ish. I don't wear a hijab. I'm not Muslim personally. I'm very spiritual, very hippy-dippy, but I can pass on a normal street as just another person to a white person, or to the person that voted for Trump, because not just white people did. But I'm scared for my stepmom and my family and my cousins who live in this country and who have done nothing but amazing things. And personally, my dad called me, when my dad called me this morning, he said, we tell everyone that Americans are open-minded. And mind you, my dad is a Muslim and a Democrat. My whole family is Muslim Democrats, which you would think no, but yes. And he said, we tell everyone that Americans are open-minded, and it just shows that Americans they want their country back and they want us gone. And that's sad to see from someone who's been here for 30 years. As garbage as this situation is, I do see a lot of spiritual significance in this, and it is difficult for me to see that this is going to be an uphill battle, a little bit more than it would have been on the other side of the ticket. But I do see a couple of really, really significant spiritual points to what's going on right now. And the first being that, so I was watching CNN last night, and I'm not a politic person. I wrote off politics for a long time, but I saw the importance of what was going on right now. So I was watching CNN yesterday, and they kept talking about how he stood for the class that didn't stand for the elite. They didn't stand for people being paid off. Like I said, I don't care for his platform. I don't care for him. It makes me emotional to even think about my neighbors and my friends voting for him. But government is now taking, and these higher up positions are taking note that the American people don't care for the elite groups, that don't care for people being bought off by money, people that don't care about lower class and lower educated types of people. So keep in mind that America as a majority has voted against the elite. So that first is a sign of protest. Second off, this theme of extreme rebellion and extreme almost racism and the separation. So the same thing that happened over in the UK with Brexit, where everyone was kind of shocked at what happened in terms of kind of separating from people, others, you know. We're all shocked here in the US, not all of us, but many of us are shocked in the US to see that that theme has kind of come into our lives, and that has really, that aspect of duality and that aspect of separateness is so strong. Now, a lot of people may see this as a negative, but from a spiritual perspective, I know that balance has to occur. So that strong separateness is going to be balanced out by a strong form of unity. So right now, personally, I'm already seeing a lot of people saying that we're supporting our Muslim brothers and sisters. We're supporting our LGBTQ family. We're supporting women of sexual assault and things of that nature. People are, what we have to do, and people, what is magnetically happening is people are already coming together to say no government is going to diminish our compassion. No government is going to tell us how we should feel about social issues. I'm not saying that Donald Trump's going to do anything. I'm not saying that he isn't anything but all talk, because I think a lot of what he did to get himself to this position has just been him talking out of his ass. However, it's the American people that are going to are not going to understand that when push comes to shove, he's not going to be able to pass any bill that he wants. He's not going to be able to start any war that he wants. People aren't going to understand that because they don't understand that politics is also politics. But the American people have the kind of echoed effect of what he did to get elected. So the racism, the sexism, all that stuff, we're seeing a lot stronger now than even a year ago. And that's fine. But we counter that. Us in the, you know, that believe in our hearts with compassion for each other, for our Black brothers and sisters, for our Muslim brothers and sisters, for our gay brothers and sisters. Our duty now, more than ever, at least in my lifetime, more than ever, is for us to show compassion for those that aren't being represented in our leadership. These issues aren't issues that can be bought. They're not issues of a campaign. They're issues of our human existence. They're social rights that we have as humans. I do see already a theme coming about, which is a lot of minority groups will kind of come together to support each other, because if they're not being supported by the government, they're going to support each other, because these are issues not on a ballot. There are issues in our hearts. There are things that we're going through, our families are going through, our friends, our neighbors are going through, that is now not going to be represented in any form of government. So now it's our choice to govern ourselves and to let our morals and our ethics and our aspect of compassion represent our own lives. This government does not represent those who do not let it represent them. It is time to govern yourself. It is time to use those morals, those ethics, those values, those social liberties that we have as human beings to come together with your brothers and your sisters, whether it be white or minorities or someone from a different land or a different culture. Now, these levels aren't even mattering. These levels aren't even existing in our world. These separate energies now, this, whether it's a culture or a country or whatever, these things are melting. And we're realizing that the consequences of the other side of what's going on is bigger than the separateness that we see in each other. So it's time to grab a hand and to bring that out into the real world. Bring that out into your everyday life and represent the love that has been depleted from what's going on right now. We all have a duty and we all have a role to be an activist in our own lives, an activist in our own towns and our own cities and our own communities, and come together and find common ground, because these things that have made us separate don't matter anymore, because the stakes are way, way too high. It's tough. It's really, really difficult for all of us. Well, for most of us. Well, for all of us. Whatever. I love you guys. And I hope this doesn't offend anyone, because it's all about love. I love you guys.